Leave me.
Bye.
Paul is coming
Bye,
inside
Felicia.
the house. Hi, everybody.
I believe we're being given the signal that we are now on the internet.
Oh, for reals.
Do you want to do the intro chat, or are you leaving that to me?
Oh, you. I think it makes sense that you welcome them to the channel, and then I welcome
Cat
them.
says
to,
no. You got to do it.
Okay.
There can only be one.
Okay. Hi.
And you ain't it.
Welcome to Rainbows and Razor Blades Productions, where chaos reigns in all of our content.
That's the worst copy read I have heard.
Welcome to another day.
Welcome. Happy
Next week I'll
Thursday.
do it.
Hello. Hey, happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us right here on Rainbows and Razor Blades and this show, Thursday night show at the Threshold. I am your maestro of mayhem, your North Shore DM. I am the real CMG, but you can call me, just for this once, you can just call me Chad. Thank you for joining us. Let's meet my friends. Let's start with Michael. Hello, friend.
Hello. I am happy to be here. My name is Michael. I am coming to you from exotic Pennsylvania. We all talk like this here. No, that is not true. It's a very different accent. But my name is, in fact, Michael. I am, in fact, happy to be here. What other... should I mention I'm playing a wonderful individual named Henri of the Brazen Eye this evening? Should I mention that
you just did.
Well, I'm just trying to figure this out. I get stage fright. I don't know what to do with my hands. The important part is, no pressure. We had a week last week. We dealt with a cult. We killed a demon lord, apparently. So, I mean, I feel like we should have gotten more XP than just getting us to level 2. But hey, I'm not going to just nitpick the DM for only giving us 1 level for killing a lord of the demons. I mean, that's just, wow. It was awfully short for 1, though. I'm sure that'll get worked out. Anyway, that's me.
Ashley, let's go with you next, since you definitely gave Michael the sus look.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley, Minnesota Muse 99 on Twitter, and a lot more appreciative of the hard work that our DM has done to create this campaign than some people. I am playing tonight for you a character named Key Day, who is a Fire Genasi Paladin, and very excited to be at level 2 because I also got many new abilities from the level up. I got spells, I got weapon things. It's awesome. And that's about it.
Fantastic. Kristen, hello.
Hi, I'm Kristen, Darth on the internet. I'm playing a stray who is suspiciously lights up when Detect Undead is cast. That's a thing. Otherwise, she's a little roguey rogue. And that's about all we know about her.
She is 3 days old. 3 days.
That makes things weird.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It'll only get weirder. And last,
Making it
but
weird.
never least, Allison.
Hello. I am Allison, aka It's a Feral, on various social medias. I am playing for you this evening Selma, little fairy lady. She's small and confused and doing her best. And someday she's going to be a star. And yeah. I also got a lot of fun stuff at level 2.
Yeah, you did.
I can't hide, disengage, or dash as a bonus action. That's all I got.
Pretty sweet, though.
Those are big
That is
things.
really good for a rogue.
I can action surge. That's what I got.
I can summon my familiar.
There he is.
The
Mace
real
Windu.
DM, Mace Windu.
Mace Windu should should we knock the players off the table? Would you like to knock over their characters?
I feel like that's definitely a yes.
Quick, get the catnip.
I don't want him to start eating the carpet.
Oh, okay. Yep.
No, why are you biting me? Go away.
We got those little stick to the wall catnip balls for our cats. They are constantly high.
That explains a few things. Anyway, as we get started, I just want to say that it's a little weird out there in the world today. So I hope that if you're watching our session today, and realistically any session that we have going forward, is a nice, relaxing, happy time for you. It won't be for my players, but I hope it is for you. I'm just kidding. It's not going to be. I can't promise that actually, but anyway. So just, because stuff and things. Let's do a little bit of a recap. I got my new clicky pencil. It's a pen. A little bit of a recap. As Michael said, the party, they were in fact on a mission to find some lost individuals on an expedition. They found them and they were dead. But one person had been dragged away, and they fought some cultists, found that person, and then was like, oh, hey, we got to stop this ritual. So they kind of did that, sort of. I think realistically,
We did something.
that the ritual in fact ended, and they killed the guy.
Closed.
The portal did close after a demon lord, maybe something really ugly came out, and immediately, as it happens, attacked the person who summoned it.
That's what you get.
Some lessons here, people to
yeah.
learn.
Them's
Yeah.
the breaks.
Don't
Now the dice
summon,
roll.
don't summon things through portals. Don't summon things through strange portals.
That you're not 100% sure about.
Yeah, right. Get that shit in writing first.
Make sure you
before,
know.
before you bring it through.
And read the contract. Always
Read the contract. And they successfully defeated the cultists and the demon. They made their way out of the dungeon. It is interesting to note that they did in fact revivify the cult leader Irvana, so that they could bring her in for
back.
questioning, to feel the full extent of the law, as it were.
Death can't save you from the cold, hard arm of the law.
That's true.
Life
And to
hack. Always
suss
bring
out
back a
other
patsy.
cultists.
And yes.
We didn't
and
revivify her though. Like we
No, I
just
just stabilized her.
was
spared the dying on her.
spared the
Yeah,
dying.
we don't have her
Yeah.
Revivify yet.
We don't have that kind of budget for revivify.
I can't remember everything.
Fair.
And I stole a music box from
Revivify in this
It's
economy.
true. Yeah,
From
they met their
employer.
contact at Savage and Gam's public house, which we have determined is like fantasy Applebee's. If fantasy
Denny's.
Applebee's was
Denny's.
it Denny's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Oh, please not Denny's. I want to enjoy eating at this place.
Not Applebee.
I mean,
Oh.
I don't think the Denny's in Minnesota are like fancy enough to be considered like the same kind of junk on the wall thing. Are they fancier down where you are?
Not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Applebee's because there was like random stuff
Shit on the wall.
Yeah. But
Like maybe a
I came up with
Buca's.
this. I came up with this while I was working today, that I think it's like Applebee's in that it's, a neighborhood bar. It's got shit on the wall, but they only serve family style food because the cook is an Eton So it's just massive portions.
He doesn't
so it is
understand
a
how
buka.
portions
It's a
work.
level.
Yeah, right. So it's like what if Applebee's was a brew pub and was Buca de Beppo? If,
Like
I
that.
guess maybe only two of us might know what Buca de Beppo is, but
That a
that's
I've
okay.
certainly
thing?
heard of a
Yeah, I
buca de
don't know.
beppo. I've seen a buca de beppo. I've never
Yeah.
entered.
It's
a
an
Buca de
Italian
Beppo.
restaurant where they only serve family style food. You know?
And they
They
have a
got
lazy
weird
Susan in the
knickknacks
middle,
on
so
them.
you can turn it to get to what you want.
I don't
Only
even
with
know
one
what an
table.
Italian is.
That's fair.
I'm kidding. I
Oh,
live
then
in a
they
town
live on the East
full of
Coast.
Italian
Are you
descendants, and
Are you in Jersey?
no, I'm in Pittsburgh, which is somehow
Oh.
worse. But there's I've never lived
Spiritually-
anywhere that has this many good Italian and pizza joints. that I'm
Spiritually,
confused.
it's the
I don't know.
same.
You're correct.
Anyway, they met their contact, whose name is Chance Redbeard. They got paid. They met some Golden Knights on the way. They gave the cultist over to the Golden Knights. What did you do with the skull?
I think we still have the skull.
Okay. Okay.
It was given to me as I am apparently collecting small skulls now.
It's true.
No reason.
This is fine.
I collect
Um,
skulls. One of our party's undead. We're just
Fair.
How's
breaking
the
stuff
weird
up.
guy the normal guy here? I'm really worried about this.
Yeah, you know, it's how it is. So, before we get started, Allison, you're a druid. You
Yeah.
just got wild shape.
Ooh.
So allow me to ask you how do you feel about wild shape, aka how do you want to use it, aka I don't know. Some schools have thought people can, I'm going to use my wild shape. I could turn into whatever. Some schools have thought I turn into things that I see and make checks for. Like some schools have thought, I know very specific shapes, that sort of thing.
You mean to say, like, how do I want to play it? As in, I can only change it to animals, like creatures I've seen,
Right.
or okay. Well, because of the path I've chosen,
Mm-hmm.
I have a very specific sort of wild shape that I can turn into that I'm very aware of. I imagine it may be just because I feel like I've probably been around a little bit longer in this town than maybe some of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be familiar with some animals.
Yeah, because your origin story is a little interesting.
Yeah, so I think I will do it. I think I'll play it based off of creatures I've seen and I'm familiar with, and maybe out of character later we can kind of go through what specifically I might have encountered. I'm sure, like like birds. I can probably do birds and little critters, maybe
Red
things
pandas?
maybe not. Well, it's just the stuff I would have seen in and around town, maybe like probably livestock and shit like that probably is for sure. But anything beyond that and the special one I have, probably I don't know. So
okay, awesome. I like that. I have my thoughts about how wild shape should be, but ultimately it's your character. So
yeah,
I wanted to ask you, what do you want?
Oh, they'll just I mean, she doesn't know a lot, really. She's very new in a lot of respects. So
That research downtime activity would be good for you.
might be.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see how things go. I'm okay with giving myself limitations.
All right. My friends, you have recently been paid. We have handwoven the sale of jewels because we kind of did that last time, and that's fine. we might not do that going forward. We might like have some, because maybe there's a way to get more or less money,
Or maybe there's a cool NPC we
for
can make.
items, right? So you have been paid. Chance has I think he gave you a card. He has left. You find yourselves here at Sevenge and Gams. It is a bustling pub, and only in the way that a true American style brew pub can be. There's a bunch of tourists in here, and what would you like to do? You find yourself here in Munahalan, City of Arches.
I do just want to introduce the idea to everyone that Selma has a booster seat in where she is. She's 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
with gnomes and halflings being a thing, they almost have to have them by definition.
Exactly.
I
So,
think Astray might need one too, because I'm pretty sure she's only 3'8". So
it's just a very fun little image.
the dark brooding rogue. What a booster seat.
No, I'm just realizing it looks
So
like
brooding
the weirdest
up here on my
couple with
phone
the
books.
weirdest children out to eat for dinner.
Very true. It's very true. It's like
PJ like gets into the booth and like bangs her knees against the table because she's tall and has long legs.
How tall are you?
She's like at least 5'10", if not like pushing 6 foot.
Nice.
Yeah, Henri's only like 5'8". So she
God.
is in fact the tallest member of the party.
You just see her like rubbing the bruise of her knee.
got
Henri is
Kide.
just taking
Harsh.
off his helmet. Oh, that looked like it hurt.
Did. They make everything here so small.
I could
I
use
don't know. It
things-
seems kind of big to me.
Some might say that such things are relative.
Relative?
Selma's like just it's fine.
You need any help?
No, it's all right.
Ugh.
If I need to get something, I'll ask for you to pass it. It's okay.
All right.
Oh wow.
It strikes me that we've just gone into a dungeon, dealt with a cult, slain a demon lord. I'm certain that wasn't a demon lord, but perhaps for PR
I
purposes.
smell.
I think a good night's rest and maybe a day to relax would be a good thing for us
Well,
to do.
I was going to see about ordering. Looks out. What time is it?
It's a good question. It is.
I think we came out in the morning, is what you told us.
Yeah, we weren't like super late, I don't think.
We'll say. Crap! I gotta remember how my fantasy time works.
We could do, we could do
Hang on,
brunch.
let me look at my watch. Okay. So we'll say it's oh wait, it's just you just divide by 2. So it's wait, fifth bell. Fuck.
Did you
Yeah,
make
like-
times as long as in addition to calendars and months?
Yes, we
and
did.
holy moly, that's a lot of work.
Right.
just say it's like-
Yeah,
Could you say
So
it's
Whatever time you say it is.
yeah. So it's like fifth bell.
so
Which
what does
is-
that mean?
I don't know. I'm getting.
Is
Hang
that
on,
like-
hang on, hang on.
Like noon?
It's the equivalent of 10 a.m.
Okay, we
right,
could do
so-
brunch. We could do
yeah.
brunch.
So one bell. So there's 12 bells in a day. One bell is the equivalent of 2 Earth hours.
Okay.
Stray kind of sits there and she's thinking to herself, how? I mean, it's just gonna taste like ash. I don't really want to eat. I smell. Hey guys, I'm just gonna go bathe. Y'all enjoy. She's gonna
Okay.
peace out.
As you
If that is
are
what
kind
pleases
of
you.
scooching out of the booth, a young woman wearing a vest with a bunch of like wooden and gold like buttons on it, and
Where?
there's like a name tag, and it says Thelma. And she comes up to the table and says, "Oh yes, welcome to Seven Games. I'm Thelma. Can I get you anything to drink?"
I could use a pint.
Astray just slides under the table and scurries out.
Think of possible.
Have a nice day.
Don't mind her.
Pint. She lists off like I'm not going to make up fantasy beverages right now.
Oh,
That's
that's
okay.
where you draw. That's where you draw the line.
Well,
Time,
right.
yes.
Fucking A.
Beverage,
Here we go.
no. It's beer. Let's have a beer.
Yep.
No,
well, we
I'll
have-
say I will make this easy for you. She lists those all off, and Henri just goes, "I'll have a pint."
She says,
Yeah, the
"Ah,
last
all right,
one.
all right.
I'll take that
the
one.
Sevenges ale. All right, the ale.
I mean, I don't even remember what I like, so good
I
luck.
recommend perhaps a pint.
All right,
can have- I'll have
3
water.
ales.
Water.
Water. Okay. Sparkling or stilled?
Sparkling.
Very good. Very good. She hands out some menus. Here's some menus. I'll be right back with your beverages. She takes off.
So did
I'm-
we all note that our friend there, she doesn't eat?
Yeah.
I will note that she did most tactfully abstain from the entire communal action, which could be interpreted in many ways, amongst them being that she does not eat, which perhaps given other things that have been mentioned, yes.
She also said she smelled. I don't know how much we all smell, but
Oh, I was
I
standing
am
right
not well.
underneath the demon thing when
oh
it
yeah.
gutted and I was covered.
I mean, but are you saying you think she's rotting?
No.
All right.
I don't listen. We've all learned a few things about her today, and I don't really know what they mean, other than what I think we're all thinking, but haven't said. Which is
Meaning
that
is a
she's dead.
Meaning is a riddle to be teased out through many experiences. We don't need to make any conclusions yet, other than she is our friend. She has shed blood with us, and it is very unlikely she is going to turn on us in the night and attempt to eat our brains without some sort of forewarning that we will capture.
Real quick, have we ever seen her actually bleed?
Let's do this. Why don't you why
I
don't
didn't
the
take
three
any
of
damage last time. So.
you did get stabbed?
Oh, no, I did. That's right. I got the
Yeah.
arrow to the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did bleed, I believe.
Why don't the three of you make we'll just do some retroactive perception rolls.
Oh, I got
I'm terrible at this.
a natural 20
Nice.
for a
While
total.
hold
I
on,
did
hold on.
too.
Oh, well, okay. Hold on. Let me have a quick conversation with
Insight.
with Kristen. Kristen, hello. I feel that and you can bleed if you want. That's not what I want to bring up. You can leave your parts behind. Wait. I feel that given again things that for anyone else we might find out later, given your narrative status, you're probably not like deteriorating.
No,
You
I
are-
imagine that she
you are a
like she
stable
still
undead?
bleeds. She still bleeds, but it's definitely like a little bit coagulated and like it pumps a little slower through her body.
Mhm. Okay, So now let us go back to the table and your recollections. 2 of you have gotten natural 20s.
For a total of 25 for me.
For a total of 19 for me.
My total was only 18.
Okay. Maybe it was the lighting. Maybe it was the dark cloak. You know, you're maybe not sure how much damage she had taken. But you all noted that perhaps she was less bothered by the wound than you would have expected, having may or may not have been stabbed before yourselves. I would say it was definitely with that 25 Selma.
And she absolutely just like ripped this crossbow bolt out of her chest, looked at it for a second, and tossed it over her shoulder.
She was definitely bleeding. You know how you bleed when you have had a scab for a few days and you tear the scab off and then it's like, oh, I'm bleeding a little bit. You know, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
It's a little awkward.
It is what it is. I don't think we should treat her any differently. But I'm not going to say we shouldn't talk about it.
I agree entirely. Who's to say what any of us are? I have no idea if that is more normal or not than having someone with fairy wings or someone with such excellent hair. Although he just kind of untussles his from its elaborate top knot, and it's actually like it's almost like mohawk and just goes well down his back.
Because you've got like Fabio level hair, don't you?
Yeah, but it's all in like that very specific like cut and top knot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which I think technically makes me an Arendani sword saint if anyone's ever played Battle Lords of the 23rd century. Anyway, weird 80s reference. I know, right? That was a weird cut. So I guess the question I would have to you two in this case, what is your concern? Are we concerned for her safety as she is so new? Are we concerned for our safety? Are we concerned to know what she may or may not have special needs we don't know of? Like perhaps she needs to drink blood, or perhaps there are certain sects in the city that might find her unacceptable.
Those.
I didn't necessarily have concerns. I thought I heard a phrase the other day. I believe it's talking smack. And I think that's kind of what I was doing. But now that you mention it, it may be a good idea if any of us have any particular abilities that may cause her harm just because of whatever nature she might be. That might be a good thing. Okay. Yeah.
I did the thing and she glowed.
Illuminated, so perhaps.
That might be good. That might be good to remember.
Especially considering perhaps other people can do whatever it is that Kide can do. Also, Kide, what did you do?
When?
That illuminated her thus in your senses.
Oh, I don't know. I just have this this way of seeing that I turn on sometimes. It's just a thing. I can, if I concentrate enough, I can see if something's undead or celestial or demonic. So I wanted to see what that pig thing was, and he lit up, but then so did she.
That's a good trick.
It's good to know that you can do such things. My talents are fairly obvious. And good berries. She pulls out a good berry and pops in his mouth.
Well,
also,
I think I just spoiled my dinner.
I totally hate to derail, but Chad has just sent us in Discord a menu for the restaurant.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
It's true, I did that.
Now, I will have to say, I can do a lot of things that I didn't know I could do. And maybe I have more things that I don't know I can do.
Well, Kide, if I may ask you, we have not had a chance to talk much since meeting at the Midnight Club. That you've only been here perhaps a week?
No, actually, I've been here a lot longer than that. I'm a little scrambled.
Well, then you know, and I will say this out loud because while you know this, perhaps it is not something that you have sunk in or fully internalized, is that that is not an uncommon experience. Many people in this town, um, myself included, um, do not recall things until they recall them, do not recall abilities until they recall them. So you are at least not alone in this, if that is some comfort to you. It may not be, I do not know.
Well,
When I arrived, I was screaming.
oh, well, that's good. I was too.
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on, but the guards were very sweet.
I was covered in blood.
Oh, I lit everything on fire.
This seems very
So-
much in your milieu.
Yeah, so I came to the gate and suddenly I started panicking because I didn't remember anything and I didn't know where I was or who I was and I started lighting everything on fire, which scared me, and then I started running, and then the guards started screaming, and then people started running, and it all,
It's just a little tiny hand reaches over, gives a little pat pat. It's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay. I think we're not the only ones, especially in a place like this where that has happened before. I don't, no one here knows 100% what anything. Who can say?
Well, on that level, I mean, who can say anything with such certainty? We were all trapped in an experience mediated by our perceptions. What is real and what is not is already an uncertain question, compounded by, of course, the potentially magical nature of this existence and the varied and seemingly conflicting ideas. This all seems much more ludicrous and likely that it is not happening than it is. After all, you can produce fire, I can talk directly to the minds of others, and you're a fairy. This seems unlikely that it's actually happening at all. We may actually be having a consensual illusion of some type.
Thelma arrives and she says, are you sure you didn't want the brandy?
Oh.
Because that's snifter talk.
No, he just always talks like that. It's okay.
Okay. Well, here.
He's just very confused.
Yeah, there are some old men who come in and wax philosophical, and they drink the brandy.
Oh. Do they come in regularly?
Yeah, every night.
Huh. That might be a fun thing to stop in and listen to.
It's interesting. It's over my head, I'll be honest. Here are your ales, and they're like, the 25 ounce, handled glass mug. The glass is sparkly.
Sparkly like glitter sparkly?
I mean, it's not, yes, it kind of looks like, yeah, it's sparkly that way.
I suppose I could get a straw.
And yours is water. She says, yes. And takes out a very nice reed straw that has 4 curls in it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to check out the menu?
Yes. I would love the dried mutton soft cheese, please.
Excellent.
I'm gonna go with the roasted lamprey with clove and walnut bread.
Very good. Great choice. Great choice.
Yeah, can I have that one, but without the lamprey?
So just the walnut bread and clove.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right. Extra butter.
Wonderful. Maybe a bowl of milk or something on the side.
Okay. She takes off again. Let's touch base with Astray. Astray, you make your way out of the bustling brunch crowd here at 7 Gams. It is key day, the actual day. It's the equivalent of Tuesday for those of you who haven't looked at my document. And yeah, what why have I closed the map? Here it is.
I don't know. I
Yeah, that's a good
cannot tell you
question.
such things.
It happens. Yeah, where you're going to go to the baths?
Yes.
All right.
I will take myself over there. She does kind of stealth through the city because she's like, don't want to be seen, don't want to be seen, don't want to be seen.
So maybe taking like a little bit longer route.
Yeah.
Sure. Make a stealth roll for me as you maneuver your way through the city.
13.
Did you say 13?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you feel pretty good. You seem, maybe as you kind of the 7 Gams kind of opens up into the market square, and you kind of, it's a little like touch and go at first, kind of going through the market square. It's pretty busy, but then as you kind of like get beyond the market square, you kind of you get into the groove, and you kind of, you're like, oh wait, okay. You kind of get your bearings with your movements, and kind of reading the flows of people and whatnot. And yeah, you make your way kind of through back alleys. You maybe cross beneath the shadow of the massive hang on, I want to Cartan, the Tower of the Arcane, that is that takes up a large portion of the skyline on the east side of town, before crossing over into the public bath area.
Okay, so I know they give us fancy soap when we come through the gates, but did they
Yep.
leave fancy soap at the bathing space so that we don't have to bring it with us each time?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like
Okay.
there's not like an enclosed, so the public baths, many individuals, it is not required, but many individuals bathe in the nude at the public baths, although nudity is of course frowned upon in public other places other than the public baths. And there are, maybe a couple of like changing areas, like you go to, when you go to the beach, and then there's like the little changing rooms that happen at certain beaches. And then there's also like a nice kind of boardwalk sort of place with a bench and places where people kind of set their stuff. It's a well-known thing that you don't steal people's shit at the public baths. It's kind of it's almost like a sacred communal space. One would say it is the most sacred communal space in the city. But yes, there are a number of baskets of soaps and even towels, I think, too.
Yeah, Astray will grab some soap and a towel, and she'll like walk over to the edge and like start kicking off her boots and everything she's wearing, and like scrubbing all that down first as she goes so it can sit and dry. And then she swims out, soaps herself up, and then the first time she was there, she went under the waterfalls, and there's a little indent where she can just hide under the water and sit there. And she just sits there and meditates.
It's very tiny size for you.
Nice. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
All right.
Trying to throw my dice on the floor. That's an 8.
An 8. You feel clean. Yeah, you're clean. You're wet. Yeah, it's nice. Maybe not.
She just did like the main part, scrubbed down, and then went into her little cubby and just meditated.
Nice. How long do you hang there?
She probably stays down there like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then come back out, dry off, put on her clothes. She probably smells still, but it's at least better.
These soaps are really good. What do you get up to after that?
Then she'll probably make her way back over to where the others are. She just didn't want to be all smelly.
Okay. You currently smell of lavender and clove.
Very nice. Very nice.
Artisanal soaps of the highest quality.
You smell better than the rest of us.
So
she's very sensitive to smell.
As Thelma returns with your foods after some time, and they are, as I said, big portions, just of, and kind of at the same time, a stray comes back in to the pub, as I also said, smelling of lavender and cloves. Oh no, my mom's calling me.
Oh God.
She saw what she was
I
streaming.
forgot to call my mom. Hang on. Sorry about this.
So when a stray returns,
Hi, Mom.
Still kind of eating something.
I am.
Oh no, I'm gonna talk.
But
We're
just
gonna
a
role play.
live recorded
Let's do this.
conversation
This
here.
is just happening in the background of the next table.
He muted himself. We're good now.
So,
Okay.
Astray, may I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
One, you smell absolutely lovely. That's excellent soap. Two, are you aware that you may be some form of the Walking Dead?
Well, so I came through one of the arches 3 days ago. And when I came through, there was this giant hole in my clothes over where my heart is, and it was all bloody, but there was no wound. And they gave me the artisanal cheeses and the soap, and I tried to eat the cheese. It didn't really taste like anything, so I tried to eat the soap, and it just tasted the same. And
Dangerous thing to confuse. We'll work on that.
So then I went to the baths, and I just kind of sunk to the bottom, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit down here and think. And then when I came back up, the person next to me was like, you were down there for 2 bells. And so I don't think I need to breathe.
That's 4 hours.
And yeah, I haven't actually eaten anything since the cheese and the soap, and I don't think I need to. I don't gotta breathe. I don't sleep either.
That sounds amazing.
When I lay down, I mean, I do get exhausted if I don't take 2 bells to just sit down and meditate. And
So like an elf.
I mean, kind of, but I'm still aware of everything that is around me, so I'm technically awake. I've just got to be still.
Wait, so for the last 3 nights, when you've been at the what's the name of the
hostel?
Hostel.
at the
Glorious
hostel with
Peaks.
me? Have you just been sitting up and staring at people all night?
just staring at you.
I mean, I know the symbols on your body pretty well now.
Oh, good.
Well, Key would you like to share with Astray what you noticed earlier?
About what?
Your special senses.
Oh, you're undead. I have this thing that I can do, and I just kind of turn it on, and suddenly I can tell if something's demonic or celestial or undead.
Well, I guess if I ever start craving brains, I'll let you all know.
That would be
So far, I
very
don't.
important. That is one of the things we wanted to discuss. If you do have special dietary needs or intakes or urges that might be destructive to the people around you, we would like to know.
No, I just don't eat. Don't breathe.
And
I mean,
that
it is very handy when we're like, going somewhere and I've got to sneak ahead because then my breath doesn't give me away.
No, there's the number of tactical usages for everything you have just spoken of are most impressive, and I look forward to dealing with those more. But I just wanted to make sure you were aware of this, because if Key has a special sense, there may be others in town that can sense such things, and they may or may not have an opinion on the matter. So I don't want you to be surprised if someone has an opinion on the matter and is aggressive about it.
Chad, didn't we talk about that there's like counselors for the newly
There is.
to the city?
There is, in fact, also a what did I call it? I don't remember, but I made like a AA meeting for like new people.
We called it Amnesiacs Anonymous.
Yes.
But yeah, so I went and I talked to one of the counselors about it, and she was born here. So, she remembers everything, at least that she has learned. And she told me that my kind have been in the city before, and we're called Reborn.
Oh, well,
and
we have nothing to worry about then.
Sometimes
probably.
they're an actual construct. Like there have been some of those, and they read the same. And then there are others that keep their wounds, and they're very creepy. Like she said, there's this one woman that just walked around with a giant gash in her neck.
Are you saying you're a meat puppet?
Aren't we all?
I mean, probably.
I do construct, but you're
hear a voice in my head.
Voice in your head, very important. I can make voices in people's heads, but what is the voice in your head like?
Well, she's real nice. I feel like I've heard her before. And she told me that I'm not supposed to remember her, but she is there as kind of a background noise. And that's how I knew that I still remembered all of the stuff about archaeology, because she popped in my head one day and was like, "You are special and you know great things. Look in this journal, but remember nothing else." And that was like as I was coming through the arches.
Would you mind if I tried something?
Sure.
Okay. And Henri just takes off his fucking gauntlets, sets them down neatly in his helmet. Would you mind taking my hand? Makes things a little easier. And he just initiates mind link, which allows him to speak telepathically to anyone within 10 feet. He's just doing the hands because it seems more supportive, and just directly to your mind is like, you should be hearing my voice now. You can communicate with me. Is this what it sounded like? As we just stare intently at each other.
She does the dog cocker to the side, and she's like, not quite like this. It was like, this feels surface. Like it felt like it was coming from deep inside my brain.
Well, then just for a moment, he continues in the mind. Hello, is anyone else present?
No, just me.
This is what I have, and just takes his hands back and goes, eh.
I don't know.
I mean, that seems it from what I just got from that one-sided conversation. It seems a bit like a personal thing.
It is very possible. Such things are not necessarily my forte. I thought it was worth at least trying. Sometimes I suppose things just enjoy being heard.
Maybe it's someone you knew.
I mean, she also told me that I had to be careful because it wasn't just me that I was in charge of, but I don't know what she meant by that.
This feels ominous.
Astray, give me a oh boy. How do I want to let's do a charisma saving throw.
So I realized that I looked up how big lampreys were. Sorry, no, because like now I start thinking about the shit because I'm so tiny, and just like her is like half her size.
Well, it's probably not the whole lamprey, just the part you want to eat.
I guess.
Just some of the torso. I got an 18.
An 18.
A very big to-go bag.
Bigger than her.
It's gonna
Like a
have to
5-gallon
be.
bucket.
She's got it over her shoulder.
You
like,
don't waste food.
You don't. No, it's true.
That's why I gave away all of my provisions because since I didn't need them, I figured other people might. So
I do feel like she's just got a toothpick that she's like spearing pieces because the fork's probably too big, but do what you can. Sorry.
This is one of those small forks.
We ever been to Nathan's, the hot dog, the little hot dog spear thingy that they
Yeah.
put for the fries?
Shoot, now I forgot where I was going.
Charisma saving throw.
Yeah, charisma saving throw.
What was it?
Because I said that the voice told me that I wasn't just in charge of myself.
Oh yes. Yeah. So I like I'm gonna just roll through some thought process here while I recollect myself. I like it's definitely like a like more substantial communication than what Henri did. Like almost like, you know, you're hearing it in your bones sort of thing versus kind of just in your mind ears. Whatever his was. Yeah. And you oh man, all right. I lost where I was gonna go with the reason I made that save. Had you make that save?
I mean, the lamprey talk was very distracting.
Yeah, it had. It's okay.
About
Yeah.
that.
It'll
Sorry.
catch up with her later.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I was gonna pull another piece out, but hang on. Let me look at something really quick. Yeah, I got nothing. I lost it. I'm sorry.
So once we've eaten, I was going to go clean up and try and get some sleep before the evening. Did anyone else have any other plans, or did we just want to meet up as normal for the midnight club?
I was going to briefly go and sell my hammer, maybe, because I no longer need it. But if anybody wanted a hammer, I mean,
A tiny hammer.
I will be honest. I could use that perhaps for.
I mean,
crafting
it's like a
walnuts.
framing hammer.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's like however, God, yeah,
Like a regular. It's like a war hammer. That's the size of a hammer you buy at the hardware store.
it's yeah, I think because I picked up a light hammer, simple light thrown range. So you know, for you guys, it would probably be like one of those hammers you use when you eat crab or lobster, like.
Lobster hammer.
Yeah. So she'll take it out, put it on the table. It is like, it's small as hell, but it's for her. It would have been a strength weapon. Yeah. I don't need it anymore. I don't need it anymore. So I have I was gonna go sell it, but what do you want? A slightly undersized hammer.
I'm afraid I do not have a use for such things.
Okay.
Well, then I do need to go. I need to see a man about some purchases and get some sleep. I will see everyone this evening at the normal place, I suppose.
Okay.
Just kind of stands up and wanders off.
Okay.
You probably need to find a new place to live. I stayed at the new person's. Again, I can't remember the name of it.
Glorious Peaks.
Glorious Peaks. Crappy new person hostel for too long.
It's a very nice hostel.
Yeah, I know when we talked about this that I said I lived in like a tree in the park.
There is a Druid Grove.
There is a Druid Grove.
Yep.
But would it be possible for me to maybe know somewhere around town that might like be open to renters?
There are a number of rental places, absolutely. Both in the areas of the city that say do not have a specific name, the bulk of the city proper. What is it? There's a slightly nicer area, like like the nice part of the fringe of the suburbs to city kind of range, depending on the city that you live in. Called Corvella's Edge, which is number 7 on the map. And then there's of course a lot of questionable sort of low rent places in the lower reaches, which is like the
I'll say to them,
like North Minneapolis.
I know there might be some places near the Druids Grove, maybe. You're welcome to come back there with me if you don't mind camping.
I don't mind being outside.
The irony that Henri's the one guy with the place, but he just left.
I know.
There are a number of people who do in fact just kind of live in the park tents.
I mean, I don't have to sleep.
There's a couple of yurts. There's a couple of yurts out there.
I mean, if that's okay, if you'd prefer, I mean, there's definitely places out there. We have some money to spend now, I could help you guys find a place, or you could come back to the Druid Grove, or kind of up to what you guys want to do. But I'm happy to help. I've been around a little while. I know the city fairly well.
Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I would love to have your help. Just looking around and see if we can find something a little bit better. I just can't stay there anymore. I mean, they're about ready to put my stuff out in the step. Not that I have a lot of stuff.
You deserve your own room at this point, I think.
And I promise I'll stop staring at you while you sleep, regardless.
You might like the Druid Grove a lot, actually. There's a lot of stuff to look at out there.
That would be neat.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, if that's the thing we would like to do, I'd love to maybe make a roll to see if I can find them a decently, like a nice, reasonably priced apartment. 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
Hell yeah, we can. This is D&D. We can accommodate that.
Or whatever the equivalent is.
Yeah.
Stay in a guest house. I don't know.
Let's
guest yurt.
Let's call it perhaps yeah, I guess let's do this. Are you gonna look in the city proper, or in the Grove for like yurt or tent space?
What would you guys maybe prefer? Do you think? Just out of like
I think Keyday would would be interested in and around the grove.
Nice.
All right, so
Here would be cool.
yeah, so maybe not necessarily a yurt, but we're definitely focusing in and around the grove,
Okay.
I think.
In that case, let's have you make a investigation roll with advantage, since it is around the grove, which you are
Okay.
accustomed to.
15.
15. Yeah. You are able to find something nice. Let me.
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
conveniently near the baths.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yep.
Is like the grove does have a lot of nice little. It's a relatively nice spot because it's pretty close to, the center of town is sort of right there. and-
Everywhere you want to be.
Kinda, yeah.
No, I didn't type in legendary. I typed in lifestyle. That's what they're called, right? Lifestyle. There we go.
Slurpee buddy, come here. What are you
Oh,
doing?
slurp.
I'm trying to find the 7 on this map, and I am failing.
Oh, it's above
Upper
Yeah,
right hand corner.
upper
Upper
right.
right hand.
Yeah, right next to the
It-
statue with the crown.
It does blend in a little bit, but it is right above the 8, and
Ah,
it's
I
like in
found it.
between the 8 and the 4.
It's a Where's
Yeah.
Waldo of numbers.
It is a little.
I'm feeling that I need to redo my numbers.
Maybe
Well, it's
in
just-
At
color.
least a different color.
Yeah, it's really just the 7 for some reason. Kind of, it almost looks like it could be a door or something.
Yeah.
So, everywhere else is like fine.
That's fair.
I mean, the 11 above it was, or 4 above it.
Yeah, the 4 and the 7, I guess, are a little. Well, that's
It's very busy in that corner.
That's
Yeah,
very-
the 3 kind of blends in. Maybe color.
All right, I get it. I'll redo it. Because I did all the numbers. So with that roll, you're able to find essentially whatever you would like. If you're looking for, if you want to find something that is like an actual like apartment, like a first floor walk up, or a place in the grove itself, like a tent space, or perhaps a nice, a fancy yurt available for that doesn't have anybody else living in it.
Let's go with the fancy yurt.
I like
I
a
like-
yurt.
We'll do a fancy yurt,
Nice. So yeah, it would count as, I believe, we'll say a comfortable lifestyle. But I like that role. So it will be at a modest lifestyles price.
So it's like
So like a gold a day.
gold a day.
And lifestyle expenses include food. So
Oh.
I mean, we don't need to get super into the nitty gritty of like actual
how much everything costs.
paying rent. Nobody wants to play D&D to pay rent. But
Yeah, we'll figure out the.
just for a narrative space in your brain, it's a comfortable lifestyle. So it's nice. It's nice appointed. It's dry. It's warm. Because everything here is warm.
Maybe pre-furnished.
Yeah, pre-furnished. Yeah, and
Stray will
not
go
as
ahead and
not
pay
as
the
expensive
gold
as you
since
would
she
expect.
doesn't have to eat or anything like that. She'll
Aw.
pay like 30 gold for roughly a month.
Well, that's wonderful.
That you kept some of the jewels and I just made all mine money.
Which technically boils it down to about 15 gold a month for the two of you if you're splitting the cost.
All
So
right.
that's pretty good.
Rubies.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah,
I can pay the next month, or
You alternate. It'll-
we'll alternate. It'll be my turn
And
next time. Just promise me as my new roommate that you'll maybe break up the staring while I'm sleeping, just
Well,
to
I
a maybe
figure
a
I will go and
normal
sit out
level
in
of
the
staring.
grove and look at people when I do my meditation thing, or I'll just go sit in
Yeah.
the water. The water
And
is
there
nice
are-
to just at the bottom.
there
of.
are they're rolled up. Like when you kind of get shown this place, they're rolled up, but there are like dividers you can
For wall
unroll. So
space,
there's
yeah.
like, there's like cloth walls. There's a
Well,
couple
that's-
of like reed and bamboo like screens that you can move around and put places.
Like a yurt should.
Exactly. Absolutely. Exactly. It's like fantasy glamping.
I'll point out like the big sort of like fairy tree that I might live in, like. And you can-
Whole
Uh,
community
Yeah,
of
there's a-
pixies,
Describe that
fairies, nixes.
that fairy tree, like what is?
I think it's just like a regular tree that maybe some like a series of some of the smaller sort of residents have kind of like each of them has kind of claimed a branch, and there's like kind of a sort of I guess like a tent set up, like you know how people who climb cliff faces have that kind of like little bed they kind of prop out on the side. One of
It's almost
those.
like a hammock.
Yeah, it's sort of like a hammock. Like there's like they've all kind of claimed like a big branch of some huge oak tree, and they're all just like everybody just has like a branch that they've claimed with like a little canopy they've built up, like a tent or structure or something.
Absolutely.
That
I
is a
think it's a
nice
massive,
tree.
it's like a massive cedar tree.
Yeah.
And all of the little like hammocky bed things look like fungi on the side of it.
Yeah, there's all these little
Mhm.
lights and stuff. It's very like it's very cute. I give you a tour, but I don't think you can get up there. That's okay.
Oh, I understand.
Let's scooch over to Henri. Henri, yeah, you leave, you excuse yourself from the table and head out of the pub. What, my friend, is on your mind?
First, my assumption, because it seems appropriate, is he's running a little low on the substance he regularly uses. So he needs to go procure a bit more of that before going to sleep. We haven't talked about where to go to do that. So where do we go to do that?
We haven't. I realized that today as I'm like on my second brain project. I'm like, oh shit. I told Michael like 2 days ago we were going to talk about it. And we never
I have
did.
some vague ideas I could run with if you'd like.
So let me hang on. Let me make a new heading because I have it in my head. It's called, this new heading is called drugs.
Wait a minute.
Telling me it wasn't just a spice you wanted.
That's right.
The spice must. How do you think he has his eyes that bright colored? Lots of spice.
So the drug, the substance that you use is called phantom tears.
Dramatic.
Yeah. So called because it is like folklore thought that the tears that the Phantom Queen cries are distilled of nothing, as she has washed the clothes of the dead already, and her tears have nothing in them. And so the drug can give you a dreamless, theoretically a dreamless sleep. And it's a sort of thing that there are I feel like there's drug dens, like opium dens, and it's not necessarily like, it's not against the law,
but it's certainly not.
It's not necessarily
tasteful.
great. Yeah, it's not tasteful. And there are certain drugs that people do that are kind of bad. You've heard tell around of eaters of the lotus, because what I decided today that I love the idea that there are black lotus eaters and that they're not good.
No, nothing like that is.
But you can get phantom tears from any number of kind of dens.
I assume it involves an incursion into just the upper reaches of the upper part of the lower reaches.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll shoot this over to you. What is the name of the den wherein you frequent?
I want to say something simple, like the Forgetful Maiden.
Nice, I like that. Drug den.
I'm adding so much to the city.
Yep. D&D Beyond, do you have expenses? Drugs? Services? Nope.
They have poisons.
Do they? Where's poison?
I made my own drug for the Abyss for the Artena game. So I know how to make them, and I can always make one quick for you if you have things you want it to do.
Let's start looking around in the homebrew section, see what we got floating around. Sure, there's something fun.
Weird.
Sure, there's something fun
I
in
feel
there.
like it's probably like it's not necessarily cheap. Like maybe I don't know, 25 gold, which is the same price as a vial of acid. Not quite an antitoxin, because if it was antitoxin prices, people wouldn't use it. But say like 25 gold gets you maybe like we'll say 6 doses priced that way, so that you can't get one full week's use out of a dose. You know,
Sounds about right.
it's marketing. It's
all
all it is.
marketing.
It's marketing. Yeah. The other thing that's interesting to be fantasy and D&D and different, Phantom Tears is a liquid, and it's now that I'm about to say what I'm about to say, it's kind of like vaping. but
My vape's upstairs.
and I didn't realize this when I came up with the idea, but you know how they there's those pipes, a style of pipe that's fairly common in like Eastern Europe or in Arabia, where they're kind of big, usually metal, and then they have the big body with the cap.
Yeah, water pipe or hookah.
Yeah, so picture that.
I've got one of them around here somewhere.
And there's like a chamber at the top under, but it's in reverse. So the mouthpiece is way up at the top, and then it hangs down. And so there's like a chamber with the liquid in it, with the drug. And then below that is like a Bunsen burner. So there's like a little, it's all built in. So there's like a little brazier kind of thing where you start a fire and then it boils the liquid or whatever and vaporizes it, and then you inhale it. But it's all in one big kind of obnoxious contraption.
Totally makes sense.
I thought that was hilarious when I invented it.
It's good.
Fantasy,
and,
it's fantasy.
hookahs
vaping.
are a thing.
I feel
so
dirty
with that.
just saying that.
It's okay.
Pretend it's Star Wars. It's a spice den.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's just a spice den.
Thankfully, it strikes me that Henri, he's been coming here for a couple of months on and off, so they know him. The exchange itself, it's relatively quick, especially because they know he's guard adjacent. So they keep him at the appropriate arm's length while still, providing, because of course it's always good to have someone on your side if something does happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's fairly in and out, down to the lower reaches. He's not wearing a guard cloak or anything. He does look like a guy who could fuck you up. So I imagine, any of the people who might be looking for trouble aren't going to give him any. Goes in
trouble.
Yeah, hopefully.
The Forgetful Maiden, it's in the lower reaches, but it's not. It's it's kind of the middle of the road kind of drug den. Maybe it used to be a slightly nicer drug den. It's got there's the nice pillows, but they're obviously have been around for a while. There's kind of old curtains that maybe somebody raided from somebody's house they're kind of mismatched a little bit. And the hang on, I got a
doobly-doo.
I got a doobly-doo. Let's see. Oh, D10. There is a halfling man, dark skinned. He's got a head wrap on, and he's smoking tobacco. He's got a cup of coffee. He's kind of sitting behind a desk. You can see there's like just like a haze of a variety of drug smoke that kind of just like almost is constantly billowing out of this place. Different colors, like there's like purples and pink smokes and all kinds of different things. And he says, he looks up as you come in. He says, back for more, huh?
And Henri does almost like, kind of the hands forward and kind of a bow thing, very much almost like a Y, out of certain parts of Southeastern Asia. Yes, I am here for a weekly provender.
He kind of bows back. He's not really a proprietus guy.
One who stands on propriety?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. He runs a drug den in the lower reaches. And
What you got?
He kind of sips his coffee takes a sip of coffee and blows some cigarette, and he's gonna make he's gonna look you up and down appraisingly, and he says, oh, well, my friend, we got a new shipment in this past morning. Perhaps I do have the regular stuff that you usually get, but we do have this. And he takes out a box, and it's like gold filigreed, and he opens it, and he takes out the similar kind of jar that you're used to seeing. It's probably got like a shape like this drug usually comes in the same kind of jar because it fits in those pipes. And this one, you can see he sets it down, and there's like little flecks of gold in it, and he says, we got the good shit.
Elucidate.
Well, my cousin did some this morning, and I he's still out.
Well, that sounds most fortuitous. I have
I don't know how to sell drugs.
I don't know how to buy them. We're doing great. While that sounds like an excellent soporific used for certain particular situations, my needs remain modest and straightforward. So I will keep that in mind should something else come up. For the moment, I will need only the regular.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
One time, because I work at a grocery store, so I get to take home a lot of like sell by date stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to bring home a lot of steak. And I would never use all of it. So I would give it to the dudes next door, just these guys. And one time in return for steak, he gave me a bag of shrooms.
Hell yeah.
So
It's
hell of a
sat in my
trade.
it's sat in my dresser for like 6 months.
It's a barter community over there.
Nice.
So interesting and good news here, though. I have advantage on all saving throws,
Really?
which I'm gonna need.
On all saving throws?
All wisdom saving throws.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Which is good because I have no bonus to my wisdom saving throws. However, the highest I rolled was a 9.
A 9. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You beat the paltry DC I picked to entice you.
To scare you at early
you do
levels.
not feel the pangs of need, and so are able to will yourself to purchase the normal amount of drugs.
All right. So 25 gold out.
He says, "All right, well, here you go." And he pulls out a more normal looking box and pulls out an amount, and he puts the fancy one back, and he says, "Well, if you ever change your mind," and he just kind of pats it. We've got
I
it
know where you are,
for
and
now.
I would go to no one else.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear.
And he just kind of bows again, and off he goes.
See you. We'll see you next week.
See you then. And he is heading back to his apartment to try and get some sleep before sunset.
And you live in Corvella's Edge. Is that correct?
That is number 7. Yes, he lives in Corvella's Edge. I paid for modest lifestyle.
Yep.
So my kind of thought for where he lives is there's an apartment building. Why not? And you go up the stairwell several levels to the top floor, and then there's a ladder and a trap door. He climbs up the ladder with all his gear, moves the trap door, goes in, and inside is kind of the unfinished attic space at the top where the roof kind of has a slope. So, they put in the actual ceiling to the top levels beneath that. And it's sizable. It's a room that is the whole width of the building, but it is unfinished. It has several windows that you can see outside, but the view outside is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of in this unfinished space, he has a simple bedroll, perhaps a used set of like just cabinets he uses.
He's got the Aladdin setup.
For real.
Probably.
Right?
Or
Maybe
like
without the big hole in the wall, but same energy.
It's just the one that's supposed to be there. Yeah, it's very much he's in a nicer part of the neighborhood because he's living in an apartment that's not supposed to be an apartment. But it's spacious. He doesn't need any finished things. Quite literally he settles down, cleans his armor, meditates a little bit, partakes of the phantom tears with a smaller hookah he has set up, and tries to get some sleep while there's daylight.
All right. And with that, we will take a break, which I would love to be 15 minutes so I can eat some food.
Oh gosh.
We support this.
But hello, friends who are watching. We're about to go on break. It's going to be 15 minutes. But before we go, I want to say a few words from our sponsors. Ashley.
Yes.
I just want to tell you that you look very nice today.
Thank you.
That said, I would like to offer you a way to look even better.
And how can I look better than this?
By wearing Rainbows and Razor Blades merchandise.
Amazing.
They have a number of shirt options in a link that may or may not appear. There is a store. You can buy shirts like this for those of you who understand the truth of things, that sleeves are bullshit. Or perhaps if you live in a place like Alaska, there are hoodies, or wherever you might need. There are many shirts. Check them out. They're very nice. I love the quality of them.
The sweatshirt.
Nice.
For when you live in the Southwest.
And I would also like to take this time to say thank you to Lost Fellow for allowing us to use His song Chains of the Past is our theme song for this show. And thanks to Mike Shea for writing the kind of setting material that I am basing all of this off, called City of Arches, which you can acquire on his Patreon. And with that, let us take a break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. I will be full of food and it will be glorious.
Burritos. Doritos. Anti-fritos.
Potatoes. Spoiler.
Welcome
Potatoes.
back, friends. I hope your break saw you well. Mine saw me full of glorious pulled pork. Actually, we were talking about pulled pork offline.
You son of a bitch.
I did in fact have like a South Asian style pulled pork that I made, and let me tell you, it was fantastic.
If I could reach
Szechuan-
to this computer, I would
Szechuan-
grab the pulled pork.
Szechuan peppercorns, fish sauce, pulled pork, cabbage.
That doesn't sound bad at all. I'm gonna give it to
It
you.
was good. There's some other stuff in there, but we don't need to get into that. That'll be for my other show called "It's My House. I Cook What I Want." That's the name of the show. It's a dumb show, but I'll watch it every day. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. We're right here on Rainbows and Razor Blades Productions. We're coming at you live with At the Threshold. And these are all the same faces that you saw before. So hello. Okay. Henri, you have done some meditation, cleaned your armor, done some perfectly legal drugs that you are doing for a perfectly sane narrative reason that we haven't involved yet with the viewers, but that's okay. We'll get there someday. What I need you to do is give me a Constitution saving throw as you do drugs, as you do drugs and go to sleep.
Where I rolled an 18 gives me a total of 24.
Okay.
Fighter constitutions, baby.
You do not experience the dreams or the liminal space. You do not.
I have a nice time. I have a nice sleep. It's
I'm
great.
just reading about pulled chicken. and
Ignore the
potatoes.
pulled chicken. We're not getting into that. It's pollo.
Po-
It's double chicken. It's chicken.
Double chicken. Give me and then also please give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh God, why would you do that to me?
Because sometimes I'll make you make charisma saving throws when you go to sleep.
Well, I rolled a 12, which
Okay.
gives me a total of 11.
Let's do this real quick. I know that the rest of you have not reached a point wherein you're going to go to sleep yet, but since one person is doing it, let's just have everyone do it. Every now and then when you guys sleep, I'm going to make you roll charisma saving throws, which may or may not trigger certain things. So if everyone would also roll a charisma saving throw,
Do better
please.
than me, guys. I believe in you.
Okay.
Well, if you do better than Michael, I'm going to target Michael.
Don't do better than me. Damn it, Ashley.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll see how things go with my roll.
That's a natural 1 for 2.
Ooh,
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Okay.
we're doing great, guys.
What was Ashley's?
I got a 17 total.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thanks to Astrays 2, we don't have to worry about Henri. So yeah, Henri, you do some drugs and you have a dreamless rest that does not give you any ill effects from the drug use. Hence the Constitution saving throw. I mean, you're going to get benefits from drugs, but there's a possibility that you get bad things from drugs, just
Hey,
like real
don't do
drugs,
It messes you up.
because drugs are questionable.
True.
Some
I never.
some
I still
drugs are-
maintain that Dare lied to me and I did not get offered drugs nearly as much as they said I would.
Oh God, no. I never
right?
did those shrooms either. I gave them to my manager.
Wink, wink. I gave them to my manager. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
I'm in the middle of a pharmacology class. I can tell you all about certain types of drugs, but that's not what we're here for.
Okay. Let's go back to the rest of you, who have, of course, recently purchased the use of a yurt. and been shown this really dope fairy. I'm going to write down fairy. It's called the fairy tree. That's what
That
it's
fairy
known
tree's
as.
fucking amazing.
Little fairy
I'm doing
apartment.
drugs and not even getting anything that good. You guys are just normal. It's like, hey, look, fairy tree. I may be doing this wrong.
Fairy tree. A
It's just like a community fairy novel.
massive old cedar tree. Nice. Okay. And you said the like tent hammocks look like mushrooms.
Yeah, love that. Just a bunch of fairy druids and other sort of druidic little critters that live in the have built a kind of fairy apartment complex over time, and it's dope.
And small lanterns hang from the branches. It's like it would be like a Christmas tree if we believed in Christmas in our fantasy world.
There better be a solstice celebration or I'll get cranky.
I think there is. I'd have to relook at the calendar that I
I'll check the
invented.
calendar while they're sleeping.
There's holidays somewhere.
I recall.
Christmas somewhere.
So yeah, what since he's sleeping, we're gonna do you sleep for 8 hours or 4?
Who are you talking to?
Sorry, Henri. My apologies,
Um,
everyone. Henri. I
8
did the
hours?
pointing again, and that just doesn't work.
Trying to get a full long rest.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you do that.
So 4 bells.
Yep. The rest of you, yeah. What would you like to do? The day is yours. You have accommodations. You have moved all of your stuff. As you expected, Kide, Vilborg, the patron of the proprietor of Glorious Peaks, was more than happy to assist you in moving what meager belongings you had out of her hostel.
I'm sure they were glad to see me go as well.
Yeah. There's it's I feel like it's one of those things where like nobody like really said anything, but people
There's a
said some
collective
stuff.
sigh of relief.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
They're just happy to see me go with my emotional support undead. Like,
Mhm.
go on into the city.
I think we now need an emotional support undead shirt.
Let me offer you this. It's emotional support ghoul.
No, I'm not a ghoul though, but I'm an undead.
Yeah, it just I don't know. Okay, it just sounds a little better in my head, but and what you say makes sense. I love
She
it.
already like has it all like packed, like wrapped up in like a little like bit of twine. Like, oh, yeah,
You're
All
There's
right,
back.
then.
there's a stick attached to it. It's like it's just like kicking you out like your Huck Finn.
right. That was unnecessarily fast.
I had a feeling.
I have been there for far longer than most of the new people.
How long have you been there again?
I'm gonna say it's probably pushing 2 months. Whereas
months.
most people will stay there for a week, 2 weeks,
Right.
leave. But I've just been going back and forth, probably to the same place that Astray has gone, the counselors, to discuss like how
My counselor's name is Cherry.
oh, she's nice. To discuss our integrating into the city. But now I'm finally moving out.
So little birdie, fly free.
Don't come back. Like,
Right?
what? Who said that?
I don't know. You just hear doors closed. Just clank, clank. Locks the door. there's no, it's a hostel. There's no doors locked on that door. It's always open. Yeah, what and obviously you don't have to do anything necessarily together unless you want to, but what do the three of you get up to after moving into your new abode? Well, two of you move into your new abode, I suppose.
I think that now that she's in a place where there isn't so many other people around her, that Astray kind of like sets up behind one of the little screens on a table, both the music box, and then she's got this black wooden case. And it's got like some intricate carvings on it, but she's not entirely sure what they mean. And inside is a map that looks to be of a crypt of some sort, and a note that says "Find the answers." And she just kind of stares at that for a little bit.
A map of a crypt.
I've got it in my other possessions on D&D Beyond.
Okay. No. Find answers. Putting it into Lore Master, which very soon the next update should be world sharing. So I'll be able to share with you
Nice.
all my management document, which would be cool. But
I'll say that for a little, if we have a little bit of downtime, then Keyday will take out, I'll say that she somehow smuggled some of the milk from the restaurant back in like a vial or something, and she's gonna,
it would give you a to-go cup.
Yeah, I have my leftovers.
Okay, yeah, like she's gonna put out like a little like bit of milk on the floor, and then like in a little cup, and then she's gonna take out the tiny blackened skull from her bag, and she's gonna put it down next to the milk, and she's just gonna like stare at it for a long time and just like meditate or like try to think of what this was, who it was, and like somewhere in her brain like she thinks that she remembers something about leaving milk out for fey creatures.
Yeah, that's a well-known thing that
Selma just zips by. Thanks.
I'm not gonna lie, my first response was, Selma, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
She dives for it.
Yeah, right. Oh, milk.
You didn't have to do it's your house, but
a swarm of fairies comes rushing at the yurt.
Right.
Oh god.
I do think that after checking on the box and like getting it set out on the thing, Astray wants to train in perception a little bit and like just sit outside the yurt and just try and perceive things and practice.
Like using the train downtime activity?
Yes.
Nice. Let me
Look
bring
who
this.
read stuff.
Let me bring this
Dang
up.
it.
Bum, bum, bum.
I should probably read.
Because a perception of 0 is probably not great for our rogue.
Yeah.
She can
Not
sneak
wise.
ahead, but what good's it gonna do you?
that's why I've got ridiculous perception.
Okay, let's see. Why don't I guess this is super easy. Why don't you give me a perception roll as you practice?
An 18.
An 18, nice. So here's what we're gonna do. And I briefly mentioned this in the document that I said. Right in Xanathar's guide and the DMG, they have like, oh, it's going to take 10 weeks. Well, check it out. That's some boring ass shit. Nobody gives a shit about that. But so what we'll do is we're going to use the little Blades in the Dark method. We're going to use a clock. So I feel like training is probably like a 10 tick clock. And with an 18, you have ticked 2 ticks of the clock. Because I feel like, and we're going to do this a lot. I feel like this is the sort of thing that's going to happen quite a bit. So you fill up the clock and you'll get a fucking new proficiency. Does that seem okay? Is that reasonable? Okay. Yeah, because
Question, since you do have like doing things to acquire things, even if it takes more time, something like acquiring a feat through doing things to train for it instead of just through levels.
Feats, I'm gonna say probably only on the normal way of getting feats. Okay. So training can do like skills, tools, languages.
Never hurts to ask.
Yeah. Because feats is a whole other can of worms. And give me a percentile roll too, please. Forget about the complications. Complications are always fun.
Love the complications so much.
51.
51. Okay, no complications. Yeah, you spend a good amount of time watching. Tell us 2 interesting things that you notice as you train in perception.
I notice that there is one of the on the fairy tree, one of the little houses has what looks like a family of fey mice.
Fey mice?
That's cute as
Nice.
fuck.
And then
Heck
I
yeah.
also notice that there is a baby fairy learning to fly. I'm very concentrated on the fairy tree.
There's a lot
There's a
going
lot
on in
going on.
there.
You are. It is essentially like right across the proverbial street. Nice. I like it. So yeah, you spent some time doing that, and it is fruitful and it is entertaining as babies learning to fly, as only babies learning to fly can be. It's mostly a lot of falling and crying, but there's a little bit of flying that happens.
It's fine. To figure it out.
What Selma and Kide?
Well, oh, go ahead.
I don't know yet. Go ahead.
Once I get done with my little shrine kind of thing,
Okay.
I will pocket the skull again, and then I'll take the milk and I'll put it on the doorstep outside. For anybody else who wants it.
Making friends with the neighbors.
Well,
Give me a D20 roll.
Ooh. D20. $11.
11. Okay. It lasts 11 minutes before it is gone.
Okay.
The baby fairy learning to fly came over.
Mama found milk.
Just bloated up like a tick. Anyway. But I guess if we're using your cool mechanics about like how to actually like get stuff out of our downtime.
Yeah.
Then what would I like to get stuff in?
And I will remind you, and I'm not trying to put anything into your brain, but I would like to remind you, you do have an interesting obsidian skull that you acquired from a cultist.
I don't have any kind of identify thing.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
I could stare, since I know it's not evil. Well, I know it's not demonic. And I did touch it already. I guess I could try to Arcana that.
If you want to.
Or
you don't
or
have
history.
to.
Well, I already have stuff in history. Insight? I don't know.
Arcana would work.
Okay.
If you want
Sure.
to spend some time, essentially make it, we could call it like a research downtime action. You're researching
Yeah.
this skull through trial and error and
Sure.
and intense study. Yeah, give me an Arcana roll.
Ooh, 19.
19. Nice, that's really good. Let's see. Okay. Oh boy. Give me 1 second. I need to consult a document.
Bones.
I need to consult a document here. Oh, fantastic. I can do whatever. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see. You and then give me a percentile roll as well.
Okay. $71.
71. Okay. So let me see. Key day skull research. You learned 2 pieces of information within your study of this skull.
Okay.
And they are as follows. The skull, as you kind of study it, and do you have any like tools, aids that you would use as you do this, or are you essentially just kind of like looking at it? Like, describe for us how your research goes. What do you do?
I think I'm mostly just kind of turning it over and like examining like the weight of it, like the carving of it. If there's any kind of writing or script or chisel marks, like
Okay.
trying to figure out what this might be used for.
Sure.
Kind of stuff. But no, I don't have like a cool,
Like a magnifying glass or something.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't have anything like
But you rolled a fantastic roll. So you determined that there, and what languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Primordial.
Okay. You determine that there are very, like, almost imperceptible, because it's of course obsidian, almost imperceptible, like very fine carved script on it. The only reason that you were able to like determine it is because you happened to, like, as you were turning it around at one point, you shifted into like the light of the lamp at just the right angle, so you kind of caught like this microscopic facet on one of these lines, and then you're like, oh shit, what's that? And then you look closer, right, and you're able to make out that it's covered in this very fine script, that you don't know what it says. It's not a language that you read, but there is a very fine script, and I will make a note for myself that it is script. And the second thing that you discover is that you're pretty sure that there that it's hollow inside, and there is something in that hollow, but it's curious because it, like, when you shake it, it doesn't like, there's no like sound, but there's definitely like the shift of weight that would happen if there was something that is in that cavity, and the weight kind of dispersion on this is a little weird, but you're able to determine that there is something inside of it, and that there is a cavity, and that there is something in that cavity.
So like when you're picking up Christmas presents and you're shaking them as a kid and you're like, oh, this is the sock one.
Right. Yeah. You can kind of, you're not sure obviously what it is, but you can feel that there is something in there.
All right. How
And,
do I get that out without? No, maybe I should probably figure out what that says before I just smash it.
Let's do this. Let's create a 6-tick clock that you have 2 ticks on, of like the full onion of this thing.
Okay.
And I will freely admit, as I am absolutely transparent, that I'm the clock parts, I'm just feeling it out. I'm just making it up. So if we decide that it's weird and it doesn't work, or we need to like change things, let me know. But yeah. Yeah, you spend some time perusing the skull. Selma, my friend, do you have any ideas of things that you would like to do, or a thing that you would like to do?
I think she's thinking a little bit about the conversation they had earlier regarding where do fae come from, where do fairies come from. So she's gonna retire to her her little camp sort of branch, and she's gonna pull out her star maps, and just sort of spread them out around herself, and just spend some time kind of exploring the sort of more official ones that she's copied from books, that she's mapped out herself. She's taking all of these leather bound sort of sheafs of paper and parchment, and is just studying them and just trying to see if anything strikes her.
Sure. Let's call that.
I imagine that would be maybe knowledge, the research.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Research. Let's have it be I think that's like a nature roll.
Okay.
Right? Because we're dealing with star. You have maps, it's stars. That's natural.
Yeah. Ooh, natural 20. What?
Nice.
Oh,
That's the second one today. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's for a total of 23.
Jesus.
I
Okay.
never roll natural 20. This is very exciting. I'm rolling my nice, pretty, sparkly dice too, so it's very exciting.
They're very Selma.
Very good.
And kind of remind me again, what's your kind of your intention is, like, where do fairies come from?
I'm thinking about that conversation and the sort of uncertainty, and I don't know, that's just sort of blankness that came with it, of just genuinely not knowing. But I do feel this connection to certain, astrology and the stars, and so I think she's just exploring and trying to see if any of the constellations or named astral bodies that she is aware of and has studied jumps out at her in any way. She's just searching for anything that seems like it'll strike a chord.
Sure. I like this. So you rolled obviously really well. Literally the best you can roll.
Ridiculous, really.
Yeah. And you have and you've been here a while, right?
Yeah, decent amount of time. I would almost even say maybe about a year, sort
Okay.
of, because
All right.
I'm familiar.
Let's do this. Give me a give me a just give me like a proficient intelligence roll. I can't think of a skill to give it. We'll just call it a proficient roll.
That's fine. That's so what I add my proficiency and my intelligence?
Yes.
Okay. 17. God, I rolled really good. 18, 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Nice. So yeah, using the kind of these maps that you've gathered from both the kind of like the people of the Grove here have maps. There's probably folk that are similar to your kind of celestial bent, right? Your stargazeriness, and probably spending some time in the library levels of Cartan, the Tower of the Arcane, and even there's the kind of the travelers, the Archway Archive. I'm not sold on that name yet. There's the kind of like the public archive in the government building that kind of where people like collect their stories. So it's like a community journal archive. So, but there's a lot of different stuff in there. And so you have like some original maps that you've gotten from different places, and you've got some copies of maps that you've made. And you have a map of this world, who has a name that I came up with, Brahma. Yep. And there is a constellation called the Eastern Eye, that is promising, and it's promising because it almost exactly also corresponds to a constellation on a separate map from oh geez, hang on, my I gotta remember all these names. Open. Arrowwind. There's a constellation on the star map, the portion of the star map you have from Arrowwind, called the Pearl Tortoise. Ooh. So Eastern Eye, and the Pearl Tortoise. They're very like almost like within like a star different, or within a star of similarity. And there is a there's I think there is, as you're kind of like studying these maps, and you're kind of cross-referencing and doing this research, and you've probably got some like copies of like journals that dusty old men have written or whatever, and you find a bit of lore that is from hang on. Let me get to my notes so I can
All good. It's all good.
so I can write down what I just said to you. So
Well, I'm also writing down. That's why I'm taking notes myself. So
Pearl Tortoise and the Eastern Eye, right?
Yes.
Eastern Eye constellations match, and the Pearl Tortoise is in Erwin. Eastern Eye is in Brahma. And you find a piece of lore by that you copied from the Star Journal of Galantry the Third. Probably a super pompous guy with a wispy beard.
Love it.
And a weird hat. And the piece of lore is, oh man, nope. I'm not gonna figure out a weird poem to do on the fly.
It's all good.
Do it. Give me some inspiration. We'll do it.
It's in a poem, and you glean from the poem that the poem kind of alludes to something that essentially says that star children fall from the sky and are embraced by the earth and the winds and the trees, and then return to ride the Pearl Tortoise when they pass.
Love it. That's very cool. Okay, yes. I love that.
And it loves you.
Yeah. All right. I think that is something that she will just kind of, she'll roll up all of her scrolls and things and just kind of lay back and sit with that for a while and think about it. And she might take a nap, honestly, because she's a bit of a night owl herself.
Okay.
With the, but yeah, I think she'll spend some time doing that and then take a little nap before she's got to be up and doing other stuff.
I suppose you all are the night crew, aren't you?
A little bit, I mean.
I love it. Fantastic. I like that. That's good.
Love it.
Okay. So yeah, I guess what do the other two of you get up to after your task, after your things?
We're supposed to be meeting back up this evening, I believe.
That is what Henri had said, if I remember correct. He said, let's meet at the place that we meet, or I don't know what he's actually said, something like that.
I said the usual place.
Yeah.
So that, I didn't have to commit to anything I didn't know yet.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, Selma will stretch a little bit, wake up, gather her usual her items of import that she carries around with her, and maybe she'll, flutter on down to the yurt, see if anybody else is awake. And
so the two of you do you rest as well, or are you oh, sorry. When I say the two of you, I apologize. Astray and Kide. Well, yeah, I've only been doing this for a year. I think I've learned by now.
Like if she has more time, then certainly, she might rest. But I don't think that Did I even use anything that needs to get replenished? Yeah, just the divine sense.
Did you take any damage?
I don't think I did.
I mean, I would have
That's
liked
fair.
to
I
know.
rolled really garbage in that fight.
Hey,
I
it
was in
made
the
us feel
back too,
badass.
and
We
I'm a
supported.
melee.
Well, you
fighter.
almost killed me with a crossbow bolt from a trap.
That's true. I did do a lot of damage to that. That's my one saving grace. I summoned a demon and I didn't do shit with it.
Yeah. So I guess I don't really need it, so I probably won't.
Okay. Astray, do you do your rest equivalent?
Yeah, I think that she kind of wanders around the Druid Grove for a while and just gets a feel for it and what other people are there, and kind of like doesn't actually like introduce herself to anybody, but just kind of like not spies on them, but studies them.
Yeah, just kind of like specters around, you know?
She haunts the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once it does get a little bit later, she'll go back to the yurt and she'll just sit in her area and find a comfortable position and do her, what does it actually call it for me? Because this is always entertaining.
Would I have had enough time for a long rest?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'll take I don't get a lot of spell slots, but I'll take them back.
I can finish a long rest in 4 hours if I spend those hours in an inactive, motionless state during which you retain consciousness. So I picture that I just take that black wooden box and put it in my lap and then just kind of stare at it motionlessly, not breathing.
You stare at this box and rest and, you know, I don't know, free your mind, kind of maybe go over whatever it is that you would go over at the end of the day as you are unwinding. And you know, going over at least a little bit in your head, kind of some of the conversations that you've had with your newfound friends. Well, for you, for sure, because you've only been here for 3 days. Your newfound friends, you know, about being dead, or being undead, and, you know, thinking about the conversation that you had with Key Day about this, and Henri about this voice and these visions, these things that you have remembered-ish, experienced, however you want to say and describe those things. You feel a thump, like a double thump, like a bump bump deep inside, slow, and, you know, like it's a prolonged, like, you know, like
Ringing in my bones.
For a person who would breathe, it's like 3-4 breaths, like this really slow, long heartbeat. And you maybe you've noticed this before, but of course this is the first time you've noticed it on camera. And so you think about it, and you're like, you know, you hone in on that and the feeling, because there was a feeling that goes with it. It's not just a noise, because you hear it, right, in it, like, you know, in your jaw, in your bones.
It reverberates through. Yeah.
And you feel it, and there's like like a warmth that kind of like slowly like pulses through you. And maybe like an hour later, another one, like womp womp, right? And you're looking at this box, and you're thinking about this map and this weird note. You're thinking about the voice, and your vision kind of like tunnels onto this blackwood box. And it's almost like, were this the movie of At the Threshold, right? Your vision tunnels into the box, and it like fades, and then like unfades, and you're seeing like an expanse of darkness. And as you kind of sit with this darkness, you feel like a cold wind kind of rustle through your hair, rustle your cloak, and slowly, like tiny lights kind of grow in brightness and multiply. And it's almost as if you're standing in the midst of a starscape, not unlike you would see in the night sky, but you're like in it, right? There's stars. You can see pulsing stars, red. You can see regular stars of whatever color stars are. Maybe like a comet goes by. You feel this wind again kind of at your back, and you turn and look, and you can see this almost like a fog, right? This kind of mist roll in, and you're kind of caught in that moment. And you remember like the first night that you spent in Munahalan, in the City of Arches. And you remember kind of looking up at the night sky, and it's really quite breathtaking, because there's the expanse of stars, as within any night sky. But then there's these almost like waves of fog, what some people call the ethereal waves. Some people refer to them as the breaths of whatever god or power figure they might call to. And you kind of see these waves wash over and beyond you, and kind of out into the star distance. And as you kind of watch this fog kind of materialize and roll over you, you see that there's a parting, as if something, perhaps, or someone is standing there amongst these ethereal waves in a field of blackness and light. And it kind of solidifies a bit, and you can see a form, like a figure, and it's this figure has like a large, like a basket, and they're kind of reaching in and taking something. Give me a perception check.
Cool. That's a 3.
A 3. Yeah.
This is why
You're
we're
not-
training.
Yeah, you're not sure what it is, right? But they're taking something out and kind of placing it in this fog, these ether waves, and they whatever this kind of these shapes are that this figure is kind of pulling out of this basket, they kind of blow by, but the kind of the form you kind of see like the shadow of their passing, but like the form of them is lost to you amongst all this this kind of cacophony of I don't know, input, words are hard. And you kind of watch this figure do this like for 2, 3 of these like heartbeats that you feel. So it's some time, right? And they don't seem to pay you much mind. And after these like 3 spans of heartbeat, you see that this figure looks in your direction, makes eye contact, and you see that this figure is wearing like a hood, not unlike a hood that you would wear when you are attempting to be stealthy or protected. And you see within the hood there is a blazing like orbs, blazing orb, like eyes of power, like almost like flame. And you see a kind of shining like star like drop from one of the eyes, and you hear a voice kind of whisper to you across this expanse, and it says protect me. And there is an explosion of wings, of feathers, a cacophony of rah rah, which is a bad way to say a cacophony of ravens, as kind of this form cascades out, and then this kind of universe expanse cascades out in a shower of ravens, of wings, of talon, of claw, and wait, talons are claws, of talon and beak, and your vision kind of recoalesces on this box, on the carvings that cover the box, and you find yourself here in your very nicely appointed yurt that you have paid good money for, and Key Day is you can hear her stirring from a nap that if I remember right, she said she was maybe taking a rest. No, she didn't. She said she didn't need one. Fuck. She's doing something over there. Maybe she's making
that skull, probably. This
Yeah.
is just what I'm doing while she's doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Here we go. You hear her, you kind of see her form, through these curtains, because they're curtains, right? So you can, there's light. You can see a little bit. You can see like the shadows, and you see her. She's doing this. You see the shadow of like shaking. She's like got some marimbas. She's like playing some salsa music, And that's not how marimbas work. That's a hammer. Anyway, and
Maracas?
yeah, maracas. There we go.
Shakers.
Shakers. But you hear somehow you hear the sound of like stone on stone, as you can see her doing that, but you hear like the sound of of like a stone rolling. Astray, that's what you hear as you see that, after you have experienced whatever that was. How am I gonna write that into notes? Fuck.
I wrote it all down. I can
All
send it.
right, sweet. Oh wait, it's on Twitch. I can just
that too.
I can
Recorded for
I can record it for
later.
myself. Yeah.
In case we need it later.
But
A surprise tool for later.
yeah, three of you have gained a full rest, and or I should say a long rest. One of you is too good for that shit. I'm just kidding. I gotta talk a little bit of smack, a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I just
new-
wanted to stare at skulls all night
Yeah.
or all day.
I think so let's so we talked about you specifically you. I'm looking at you, Michael. You said, hey, let's meet where we usually meet. Where do you meet? The lot of you, I guess. Where, like, if you were to meet for a thing, whatever that thing is, where is it?
My thought was it's probably the location that Selma tends to stargaze from, because in my brain and some of what we discussed in session 0, part of how they met initially is it's in the area of the city he tends to patrol when he's working, and someplace that's high up has good visibility to the stars. But it's also a little bit out of the way, so people don't necessarily bother you that much. If I were to have to stare at a map and point at it with a finger,
wonderful
it's looking
map.
like maybe 6 or 2 sort of situation.
I can't count that high.
Yeah, this wonderful map by Chloe Ballard.
That's a little bit outside of town. I was
is.
thinking probably more something in the
4 region.
Again, I can't count that high. Stop.
It's where
The
you live.
Vias, the
Yeah.
Vias, so the Vias, the villas, the Bob Villas of the Second Rise.
Yes, the Bob Villas
is just upslope from Corvella's Edge Apartments, which is the neighborhood that you live in, Henri.
Do we want to say maybe this area right below this huge tower that I believe is marked number 3, kind of where that gate is, so that we could maybe say that we kind of met patrolling around the sort of perimeter?
So near the east gate, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just kind of we like hang out a little bit, and I don't know.
I'm down with that, and I like that, and it puts us in the shadow of that's the tower of the Arcane, isn't it?
Yeah, number 3 is the Tower of the Arcane.
It seems appropriate that we're kind of near that and occasionally just staring at the weird lights going off in those windows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuff.
Astray goes up and she kind of sits on the edge and she's just like swaying with the ethereal waves, contemplating.
If I may-
Kide comes walking up, and you can see her from a distance because like her eyes and like the runes up the sides of her face and down her neck faintly glow from within. Also a good reason why I have disadvantage on my stealth, because I am not stealthy.
I am glowy.
I'm a little glowy.
And when he's out on patrol, so I guess my downtime activity is probably work right now because I have other ideas, but I don't know how to execute them yet.
Sure.
But I definitely like the idea if he doesn't know what else to do. Henri's either at the Sword Academy or working, so he's working at night. It's a lot like he was in the dungeon, except he has a much brighter cloak on, and he has, you know, just that lantern, hooded lantern on the end of his quarterstaff, just kind of carrying around, keeping an eye on things.
And so are you so you're not a member of the Golden Knights, or are you?
I don't. That gets into the, is everyone who is part of the city guard a member of the Golden Knights, or are there guard people and Golden Knights as a separate rank or unit?
Are you
That's a-
saying like you want to be a security guard and not a real police officer?
That's basically how I envision it. It's like, I assume they just need guys who will do like the night watch because the Golden Knights are busy doing important
Are
shit.
you fantasy Paul Blart?
Mall cop, mall cop, mall cop.
Wow. Wow.
So the Golden Knights, so here, let me bring up my official thing so we can read this. So the Golden Knights kind of function most in kind of two ways, right? They are in part the guardians and protectors of the Queen, and the throne, and are also like the kind of the like high, we could say like the high end city guard. They're like somewhere between like city guard and military. Strangely enough, there is no standing army other than there's no martial body of the city other than the Golden Knights. And they are not large in body. There is within the Villas of the Second Rise, there is a mercenary security force that has an extended contract with the people who live there. They are known as the Silver Talons. They patrol that place. But I also feel like, given these things, that there are kind of like, you know, like neighborhood militias or other like mercenary forces of large, you know, maybe a person could call them you know, shit,
I do call them shit.
you know, body no, you know, security, you know, minor security companies essentially, right?
I'm like imagining some rich person who feels like they want to emulate like the Queen's digs by having like somebody who looks sort of like a mock, you know, Queen's Guard monitoring their properties.
Right, yeah. So you could be, if you wanted to be, you know, maybe, you know, your second level, maybe an auxiliary member of the Golden Knights, or maybe a member of a local like neighborhood militia watch, or whatever you want, man. I'm here to paint the picture.
I like the idea of like
experiences.
being like an auxiliary, not
Okay.
even because of lack of talent, but because he's only been here 6 months.
Yeah. You're like in training. It's like Police Academy 1, except for not as funny because that movie's hilarious.
Well, and it also helps that I imagine it also helps. He was like, I would love to do your night watch shifts. We're like, really? Yeah, cool, whatever. Sure.
Let's see.
You can beat up some drunks and get them back to the tank, and also, you know, you stay up. Okay, cool, whatever.
So yeah, you have I don't know if you have this written down on your character sheet, but if you're going to be an auxiliary member, you're not a full member, but you still carry you have your lantern, obviously, and you have an iron shod stave.
That is very specifically on my
All right.
character sheet,
Awesome.
and that's why I had it when we went into the dungeon too.
Fantastic. So yeah, you three meet at the appointed place, near the eastern gate, beneath the shadow of Cartan, the Tower of the Arcane. You can see, oh no, I moved my Discord page. There we go.
Oh no.
You can see, it's nighttime now. 2 of the 3 moons are visible. The moon known as Maiden, which is of a more like kind of the more like whitish color of like Earth moon. And Mother is in last quarter. Whatever that means, something to somebody. I'm not looking at the picture of it. I just wrote it down. But as in last quarter, Mother is a more bluish moon. The light from her is bluish, and the moon known as Crone is in its new moon phase, so you can't see it at all. Crone is always hiding in the shadows, just waiting to spring on you and give you cookies.
Would you like some cookies?
Yeah. Oh, now I just have the song stuck in my head. Thanks.
It's a great song.
Hell yeah.
So many D&D campaigns need to be determined by listening to The Sword.
I definitely based a campaign on Ebathron.
Yeah. So let's do this. My friends, viewers, thank you for hanging out with us while we play Dungeons and Dragons and give you some respite from the insanity of America and the world beyond, as I make our players' lives more interesting by giving them visions of stuff and things.
That was certainly not Sugar Plums dancing in her head.
Well, only one character gets Sugar Plums dancing in her head. And another character is that Sugar Plum.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, Syndica. Thank you, Bing Cortana. That's
a lot of these are bots.
I know that's a bot, obviously. Alien Gathering, maybe not a bot, maybe a real alien.
Maybe monitoring us, in which case we welcome our new overlords.
Yeah.
Unless you want to surrender, in which case we accept.
If you found what happened here tonight entertaining, again, thank you. But you might also like such shows as Somnum Exterri, which is the cyberpunk, the role-playing game, and the genre game that Kristen runs tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, whatever time that is in your world. You do the math. You have a fucking smartphone. You can just type it in. It'll tell you what time it is. That game is really cool. It's cyberpunk, like in the traditional cyberpunk way, but then Kristen like added some of her own flavor and the flavor of her players, and it's really fun. This Monday would be Madness Takes Artena. Madness Takes Artena. However, here in America, if you're watching from abroad, here in America is Victory Over the English Day, otherwise known as July 4th, otherwise known as Independence Day. So there will be no game that day, so that we can all barbecue and watch fireworks and drink beers in a amazing American fashion. On Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time is another watercolor wizardry. Listen, viewers, perhaps you like art. I'm not going to go any further than that. Go watch that show. It's great. It's fantastic. Maria's amazing. Wednesday at 6, also same Pacific time, is Chaos Curiosities. Where
I'm going to talk about making tension in your story for games.
Yes.
Ooh.
That'll be interesting. So if you want to learn how to make cool tension, check it out. It's going to be super fun. I'm always excited for those shows. And then, of course, next week, this time, we'll be ending this show at the threshold, which you will have watched because you are a loyal viewer and I appreciate you. Anyway, that's it. We are going to do some rating. Oh, wait, hang on. Before we do that, before we
Outro
go,
the players.
yes, I apologize. Before we go, perhaps my wonderful players, who I, as a dungeon master, am very thankful for because you are amazing, would like to tell everyone where you can be found on the internets in case they're wondering. Perhaps plug any things that you're working on that I did not cover. Kristen, go.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm gonna try and start going by Chris on the channel because in the Amalia game there's 2 Kristens and that's gonna get real confusing. Kat refuses to call me Chris, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm with her.
You can find me as Darcereelish on the internet. The only other thing other than on here that I'm doing is Sister Cities on Saturday nights, but we are currently on a 2-week break, and both Alice and I are sad about that.
I have cried almost every day since the finale.
There's so much emotions in this show. So much. But I actually have 3 days where I don't have to work or have a game this weekend, and that's weird.
Well, you're allowed to have downtime now and then.
Yes.
Roll for complications, though.
Yeah.
Allison, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's a Feral. I'm also usually over on Exquisite Corpse Presents as Riot Goodfellow on Saturdays. We'll be back in about 2-ish weeks. Not this Saturday, not next one, the one after that. Other than that, I'm here on Thursdays, and I will also be here on Tuesdays starting next month-ish. And yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome. Ashley.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley. I'm Minnesota Muse 99 on Twitter, and you can find me on Wednesdays with Guild Superior for Beyond Saltmarsh. So come check us out 7 p.m. Central Time. It's a lot of fun. We're pirates and we're killing things. So
How many hearts have you broken recently?
recently, like, there's not been a lot of like live actual people in the last couple of
Who
episodes.
broke those crystals, though? They may have had hearts.
We'll see.
And Michael.
Okay. My name's still Michael. You can find me on the tweeters at ValkyrieBait. You may find me in the Astral Sea by knowing my true name, but don't worry, if you're seeking me, I shall find thee first. Things I'm working on currently. Well, I'm currently working on my RN, hence the pharmacology class. And I am also working on this whole Beyond Saltmarsh thing on Wednesday nights on the Guild Superior along with Ashley. I'm the reasonable one there. And that tells you, I think, everything you need to know about how that game's going.
Wait, did you say Beyond Saltmarsh? Is that
Yeah,
like the
Saltmarsh.
Is that the Russian knockoff?
Maybe.
It's the borscht of Morsk.
And
Anyway.
Now we're the Swedish chef.
and you can find
Sure.
me. You can find me at RealSimG on Twitter. You can find me at North Shore DM right here on Twitch. You can find my Instagram channel, Delivery Buddies, _buddies, where for the next 2 weeks I will continue to share cute four-legged friends. I guess I haven't, or two-legged friends, because sometimes I get pictures of birds that I meet
Those
while
fucking
delivering.
dinosaurs.
And I say 2 weeks because very shortly I will no longer be a delivery person. Yes,
Woohoo!
I'll have a normal 9-to-5 job.
You will still have to hunt down adorable buddies,
Yeah.
though.
But we're gonna do a little bit of a raid to home brews and homebodies, and we will show them what these bodies are all about. So I don't know, fucking drop some things. Peace.
Bye. Maybe.
Oh.
There it goes.
Wow, that was well timed, actually. Sometimes it's like, no, cat is on the ball.